So I know this is the series where I design hybrids, but yeah, I'm back with another tribrid today. This is creosote, which is a type of desert flower. I looked it up. Anyways, she's a sand, rain, mud tribrid. I was originally intending to make this an ice-sand hybrid named Shrike. Like, guys, I was halfway through the backstory before I was halfway through the sketch. But as the art developed, I just kind of got more ideas, and then I was like, okay, Shrike is going on the back burner. Creosote is in charge now. Then I was going to do sand rain to go off the desert flower theme, but I realized I've already done a sand rain hybrid. So, since I wanted a mostly brown color palette, I was like, why not throw mud in there too? I wanted a vibe that was like patchy dried mud and dusty valley with tiny flowers clinging to life in the drought. Before I get into her backstory, there will be the slightest Book 16 spoilers in this video, but like 2%. I'm not going to touch on the plot or anything here. Anyways, her backstory kind of comes off of the name creosote, since that plant, according to my 10 seconds of Google research, has some medicinal properties. So, creosote is a healer. Since I've now read Book 16, I'm going to step outside the usual bounds of my backstories and say that she was born on the Dungeon Isle, but before Waterfall made it more inhabitable. About 2 centuries before the Sea-Wing Animus restructured the island prison, creosote hatched into a dusty, dry, hard-scrabble world. With water being perpetually limited, plant and animal life was scarce, leaving many of the island's inhabitants permanently thin, hungry, and mean-eyed. Her mother was a Rainwing Sandwing hybrid, 3rd-generation inhabitant of the island. Her father, though, was pure Mudwing, a newcomer who'd blown in with a storm one winter. Her father suffered especially. The lack of water meant there was no mud or swampland for him, and the knowledge that he was forever trapped in a dry, windswept desert had turned him bitter. Creosote's mother, thanks to her Sandwing heritage, didn't mind as much, though the endless fight for food and water hardened even the kindest dragons on the Dungeon Isle. Creosote chose to become a healer because she wanted to try to ease some of the troubles her fellow prisoners faced. Scales hard and brittle from lack of nutrients, claws dull and cracking, the constant tightness of dehydration. Many of the leafwings and beetlewings who'd inhabited the island originally had passed down some of their knowledge with medicinal herbs, but so few of them grew on the island that the information mattered little. Determined to discover new cures, though, Creosote experimented endlessly, usually trying different plants and herbs herself to study their effects. Thanks to years of trial and error, and a lot of error, she began to solidify her notes on what medicinal herbs might help her friends and family. Thanks to her habit of testing medicines on herself, she was frequently sick. Some plants did nothing, but some made her feel nauseous or worse. Through the years of painful discovery, though, she was determined not to lose her dream or her happy spirits. If she couldn't find medicine to help her fellows, a kind word and a smile would have to do. In the end, she does discover some new uses for medicinal herbs and some other plants available on the island. She's best remembered for a concoction that helps to purify water, making what little water they had safer to drink. And even if the Dungeon Isle was still an arid, dry wasteland by the time of her death, dragons remember Creosote's warm smile, endless determination, and heartfelt care for her fellow prisoners. Speaking on her design for just a moment, I think she turned out so pretty. I love me a good warm tone color palette, and the little pink accents give it a delicate sort of feel that I really like. Another aspect of her design that I love is her frill. I made it longer than normal, and it has a sort of ruffled look to it, so that's cute. I wanted to give her some jewelry and stuff, but as I turned her backstory over in my head during the drawing process, I realized it wouldn't really make much sense. I don't think the dragons imprisoned there originally would have been allowed to take their treasure with them. I'm sure some stuff made it in there, but I can't imagine there was a lot of it, and they'd probably be pretty jealously guarded family heirlooms. A few new pieces would arrive over the years as new dragons blew in, but not much. So yeah, that was a long way of saying I wanted to give Creosote some thematically appropriate gold bling, but sadly, continuity dictates I must not. Anyways, that's all I have for this lovely girl. If you want to make her yours, she's up for auction over on my DeviantArt. You can use the link in the description of this video to get there and take a look. Otherwise, there are links to my store and Patreon where you can support me, buy merch, or get early access to my videos. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a blessed week.